What's happening, guys? Post NFL edition of the Dynasty WarZone, the People's Dynasty podcast. On today's show, what the hell else do you think we're going to discuss? We're going to be discussing the rookies, the rookie landing spots, some of the real drafts that we have going on, and so much more. But he's back after a week off. Shout out to Nino Brown for filling in with me last week. We got through a rookie Q&A. We're going to answer a lot of Q's today, but let me introduce my co-host. You know him as the man of the hour and the man with the power, Jerry Sinclair. Buddy, I know you're fired up for this one.
I am fired up because, as you alluded to on the Patreon before we talk, I actually did show prep today. You know,
no. I don't want to cut you off, but I have to tell this story. So as you know, player profiler peoples, I went to the draft, and so I get a text on Jerry on Saturday, and I'm like, okay. He's like, hey, we still going tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm not out of town. I'm not like injured or sick or something. And he was like, oh, okay, good. I've got 3 pages of notes, and I was dying laughing because. Like this guy won't look at a damn show sheet for nothing. But you have an NFL draft, and Jerry Legette comes up with 3 pages of notes.
Listen, it's a holiday. The NFL draft is one of the most exciting things that's on our calendar, if not the absolute most exciting. So yes, my nipples got a little hard. I got a little excited. My britches got a little bit tighter. I'm excited, man.
And I'm going to say it's not that Jerry's unprepared. It's that Jerry's busy and he has to use his time strategically. But it was awesome to see how excited that you were to be able to. And I see some of the boys. So I met a lot of the gang.
Shout out to all the boys. I know I wasn't there. I watched a shitload of you guys all weekend. You were absolutely. I was doing work and paperwork at work, and I just had my laptop up with you guys. Loved every bit of it.
Dude, we had a great time. Great time. And shout out to the Podfather. And I don't want to start naming other people that were there because you saw who was there, and I'll forget someone and I'll feel like a dick. So I'm not going to do that. But it was so awesome meeting these people in person. Everybody was what I expected and then some. Met a lot of people. Man, when you guys get the chance, this is maybe like a plug for the expo, the Fantasy Football Expo in August. It's like, if you get a chance to go, you have to go. Go meet these people, meet them in person. I will tell you, I was not disappointed. Got a big hug from Theo. That was nice. I love me some Theo. Hug from the Podfather. Who would have thought, great time with a bunch of great people. But I'll tell you what, Jerry, I'll make you a deal. Let's stop talking about what we did during the draft and start talking about who was impacted by the draft. But before we do, we'll get it out of the way. Let's hear about the FFPC, especially if you're looking for a league.
Hey, why do we partner with the FFPC? Because they have the widest variety of fantasy football formats, and it's the easiest place to find all types of fantasy football contests in the world. What if you want to play for high stakes? Well, they have a $6 million prize pool with their Fantasy Players Championship. They also have way too early best ball leagues that start in February and Dynasty leagues. They have the closest thing to a liquid market for orphans that there is in all of Dynasty. And the FFPC has sponsored us for half a decade because we are actually delivering information that can help fantasy gamers, and they're generating so much interest and bringing in so many new users, casual users even. The FFPC creates a unique experience where you can both compete against the best and make money. Use promo code UNDERWORLD to get $25 off your first team. $25 off your first team at the FFPC with promo code UNDERWORLD. Go get it!
There you go, the FFPC. I don't know that they're doing rookie drafts like we're doing rookie drafts over at our Patreon, but let's do good people, bad tweets. And I've got a little story for you about good people, bad tweets. So I had the good fortune of meeting Alex Dunlap from Roster Watch. Does a lot of good stuff with our buddy Cody Carpentier. He did a lot of stuff on the live stream at the news desk on the first night. Really smart guy, really loves ball, big Texas guy. the guys, Matty Kiwoom and Theo, were telling him about good people, bad tweets, because he's, we just met. He's not taking in our content, and so I was explaining it to him, and he thought it was hilarious, first of all, and to hear how like our peers feel about good people, bad tweets was really something. And he was like, "Has anyone ever gotten mad or offended?" Yeah, that's what I said too. I said, only 2 people have ever blocked us over good people, bad tweets. And if you know, maybe that'll be a topic on next week's Behind the thing. But I was like, no, because that's why it's good people with bad tweets. And today, like even our own families are not, absolved. They're not like off the table when it comes to good people, bad tweets. And today's bad people comes from our own. Used to host the Daily Destroyer back when we had a daily fantasy football podcast in season. It's hosted by Tyler Orginski. How'd I do on the last name?
Good, perfect, flawless. Okay, fellow good, Pinckney man.
Good, yeah. I wish I could have linked up with everybody. But this afternoon, Tyler tweeted this out. He's like, "You got to be a real sicko to already be in rookie drafts." And I posted the meme of like the little monkey Muppet that has like the eyes darting back and forth, and it's probably gotten like 50 likes or something because, dude, Tyler, we love you, but this is a bad tweet. I feel bad for people who aren't drafting right now, Jerry.
I mean, my phone has been exploding pretty much since like day 2-ish of the draft. And I wrote down every pick I've made so far. So we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 draft picks so far. One of them is done already. One is in the 4th round.
So while you're looking over your notes, take that into account, Tyler. Not only are we doing rookie drafts, but one of them's done.
Yeah. I mean, the other one should finish up pretty quick too. I just picked Luke McCaffrey at 404.
Luke McCaffrey at 404. That was the surprising day 2 pick.
Yeah.
But I will say this, and I don't want to deviate. We'll get back to Tyler's tweet. Harry Snowman, very loyal contributor to all the Player Profiler shows, a great interactor in the live stream. He's like, looks like Canton is August 9th, 10th, and 11th. So unfortunately, I will probably not be able to make that because that's my son's birthday. So and we're pretty sure we're going to we'll be in Ohio. It just won't be Canton. But anyway, back to Tyler's tweet. Yeah, if you're not drafting right now, man, how sad are you to have to listen? I guess you can get ahead and prep. I think everybody should be drafting, Jerry.
Yeah, I got a hard time believing most people aren't drafting already. I mean, if you're a dynasty player, obviously the NFL draft is a very big deal for you. If you're listening to this or have listened at any point in the last month, it means you listened to a Dynasty podcast in April. So given the opportunity to draft, I'm going to guess you're going to take that opportunity to draft. I don't know. I mean, it's something for us because Neil, bless Neil's heart, Scottish, New Zealand, Australian that he is, he had all of our Patreon leagues starting. I think it was the day of the first round, maybe the second round. Maybe it was day 2. I don't remember exactly. So, I've had like 10 going since then.
Well, I don't think that I can give our own Tyler. I don't think I can give him Dana White. I think I'm going to give him Baby Billy.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on.
Yeah, everybody should be drafting right now.
Also, let me just, I know we always get onto a sidebar about Walton Goggins because he is an absolute hero to American cinema. But if you have not watched Fallout yet, he's one of the main characters in that. Absolutely flawless again. What I would give to just have a beer with Walton Goggins one time.
I saw a meme, and it was a picture of Walton Goggins. It's like whoever named him, his parents did a great job. It's like, there's Walton Goggins. Of course, Walton Goggins. Fallout is a show that I've caught a little bit of with my son because he's played the game, loves the video games, and I love Walton Goggins. And if we can bond over a show for different reasons, I'm I'm totally down. But that's good people. That's bad tweets. And again, I'm not going to name your name, the one person who blocked us over it, but lighten up a little bit. All right, Jerry, there was a draft. We need some reactions. We need our dynasty rookie reactions. What was your first? We'll start with the first round. What was your big reaction to any of the guys in the first round?
I actually think it was pretty chalk for the most part. I mean, Michael Penix aside, everybody has already talked at that ad nauseum, so I'm not going to go super crazy into that. But I don't know. I think the big thing that changed for me was probably Brock Bowers, maybe Bo Nix. Bo Nix as a good thing, Brock Bowers as less of a good thing. Now, I'm not the biggest tight end guy. I feel like I say that every single time I bring it up. But I absolutely hated where he went. And now I know Theo is still doubling down and Theo's still thrilled to have Brock Bowers and he's an elite talent and everything. Michael Mayer didn't die. Devontae Adams didn't die. And I got to ride with either Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. I just don't foresee a situation where that man is going to be an animal. And where you have to take him in a rookie draft, he better be an animal. So I think I'm probably going to be out on Brock Bowers. I'm sure I end up with at least one share somewhere, but more often than not, that pissed me off. Bo Nix, I didn't think he was going to go that early. And maybe he's not going to be good.
We brought that up on the show, by the way.
Yeah.
I made a point to share the Bill Parcells rules of drafting a quarterback with the team because the player profiler guys, I mean, maybe some of them did, but by and large, a lot of people didn't know the actual rules of a Bill Parcells quarterback. Bill Parcells, the famous coach of the New York Giants and the Jets and Cowboys. And he had some rules. And remember, Sean Payton, that's Sean Payton's mentor. So the rules are must be a senior, must be a graduate, at least a 3-year starter, must have 23 wins. I thought they would have probably liked to have traded back and moved up later in the draft, like at 21, kind of like where the Steelers got Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
But they weren't messing around, man. They were going to get their guys, and word is the Raiders were interested in getting either him or Michael Penix.
Which I'm not super surprised at either. They probably should have, because right now they have, like I said, Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. I don't know if Bo Nix is going to pan out. I don't. But I also didn't think he was going to go number 12 overall. And when a person goes number 12 overall, it creates a value because people like shitting on Bo Nix. So his value is automatically going to dip further into rookie drafts. He's going to be the starting quarterback there. So I'm going to have that opportunity to have him. They took him 12th overall. So obviously he is going to be the guy at some point.
Well, what was your reaction? And I know this is technically a day two. I want to share Nicholas's question or comment from the chat. His question is, why did the Bills take 4.6, that's a 4.640, Keon Coleman over Adonai Mitchell? And I'm just gonna go. I'm just guessing. I think they don't value speed as much as we do. That, or they think the other guys on their receiving core are fast enough. That's the only thing that I can think of. I didn't love it. The Xavier Worthy pick set the draft house on fire. But what were your reactions to the Coleman?
I screamed. I was happy. I mean, that man.
It made late first. It made mid to late first in a 1 QB and real late first in a super flex really valuable.
I have already taken him. Let's see. Where is Keon Coleman? I got him at 110. Oh, that's the league we're in. I texted you, said I might want to jump back into it, and I ended up trading ahead of your pick. I knew you weren't going to take him, so it didn't matter. I knew you were going lad with 111, but
I'm just trying to diversify. There was a stat that came out last week, and it was an ESPN stat, and it was from whatever show Mike Greenberg, formerly of Mike and Mike in the Morning, whatever the hell show it is that he hosts. I don't know. I don't watch it. But someone was sharing this information, and they went through and they looked at every position by whether or not they had signed a second contract with the team that they were on. Right? So if there's 100 tackles, then there's and 50 of them re-sign with their same team, then the score is 50%. The lowest score of any position in this thing, and you can find it, just look, check out the interwebs. It's pretty awesome. Check those guys out. Wide receiver, 27.9% of all wide receivers sign a second contract. So I'm not really locking in with a lot of these wide receivers. I mean, obviously, if I've got more Malik Neighbors than Marvin Harrison Jr. at this point, but like at the back end, I want a cornucopia. I want a bevy. I want a lot of these guys, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm sort of in that late first, early second range. You mean?
Yeah. Like so.
Yeah.
I win a lot of leagues, so you have to draft there, Jerry. Those are the rules.
Uh-huh.
When you win the league or get second,
I have 0 Marvin so far.
I had a choice between Marvin and Malik, and I took Malik. And
I have two Malik Neighbors. I got him at 104 and 105. I have not had Marvin. Now that said, I have 1 Caleb Williams share, and then 104 is the next earliest I've had. So that's probably why I just don't have that range.
I wanted to share Bennett's comment from the YouTube chat referring to Keon Coleman. He said, Coleman also has the fastest miles per hour during the combine gauntlet drill, a la Puka. Not sure if that's why. Again, the Bills saw something. One of my favorite reactions.
I mean, he's also just a good athlete. I know the
basketball.
Combine. I know
the basketball.
Yeah, like literally a basketball player from Michigan State. Tom Izzo. I know we have a football podcast, but I'm guessing every single one of you know who Tom Izzo is, and that should show you exactly how prominent that man is. He recruited him to play basketball while he was also playing football. I mean, the guy's an athlete. The guy's good. I'm excited for it. And minimal competition. Hi, Josh Allen.
And another good thing to go back and check out is the Chris Ballard from the Colts GM, talking about Adonai Mitchell. Like, I don't ever recall seeing a general manager drop the F-bomb like 3 times, said shit several times. I was like, he was fired up. So he's clearly super high on Adonai Mitchell. I don't know. As a Colts fan, I hope he proves everybody in the league wrong. I hope he shows that he was worthy of that first-round pick. The big debate that we had as we were sitting around there was, what does this do to you? What does this do to you, like, as relation to Josh Downs?
I was never super in on Josh Downs to begin with. I sort of just think that team is going to be very Michael Pittman dependent. And I think AD Mitchell will get some love for sure. But I don't really see him challenging Michael Pittman, and Michael Pittman hasn't had superstar-esque numbers either. So I don't. If I have 205, like, I'm happy to take AD Mitchell, but that's sort of like the end of my range on people I like, because that's the thing about this draft. I love having like the first 15 or 16 picks, and after that, I don't care about any of them.
I didn't mean to jump in there on you. You know who I love this for in Indy more than anything? I think the obvious answer is Anthony Richardson. More speed.
Yeah.
And Adonai Mitchell, who runs a 4.34, isn't even the fastest wide receiver on the team, because Alec Pierce ran a 4.33. And then Downs is a 4.4 guy. Pittman's is like a 4.49 guy. I mean, this is a fast team. And I don't give a shit if Alec Pierce runs wind sprints all day. I really don't care. Just run, dude. You'll probably drop it, but just run. We may or may not throw it to you. Who I love it for is Jonathan Taylor. Good luck stacking the box against Jonathan Taylor when you have the combination of a mobile quarterback, as the Podfather calls it, the Alfred Morris corollary, the year that he played with Robert Griffin, and all that speed at wide receiver. Because if you don't take the speed on this wide receiving course seriously with the arm that Anthony Richardson has, they're going to make you pay. So I'm very excited to see Jonathan Taylor running against some light boxes this week. I'm going to get your next reaction, but I want to answer Harry's question. How bullish are you two on Bo Nix? Listen, I'm probably higher on him than you, Jerry. What are your thoughts on Nix?
I mean, I don't think you're much higher than me. Like, I don't love Bo Nix. I'm not super excited about Bo Nix if I have Bo Nix, but he's just not popular. And he's never going to be the popular guy. And he was QB 6, right, in this rookie class. So he's just going to get disrespected that way also, but he's still a starting quarterback in a super flex league. And all 6 of those QBs are in this super flex. So his draft capital is going to just obviously get pushed down because of the breadth of talent that's ahead of him. Perceptively, he's a value. Like, like even if you don't love the man, like I can get the quarterback that was taken number 12 overall to a Sean Payton offense in probably the second round or damn close to it in a super flex draft. That's a value. Even if you don't believe in the man, it's still an opportunity to create value when he does start and he does score some points for you.
I'm going to repurpose a Michael Lombardi take for Dynasty. Knowing what we know now, would the 112 be too much for Brock Purdy? Like if the draft was this week, if Brock Purdy was to be again, you know everything you know now. So you've seen the last 2 years, you've seen Brock Purdy. If he was inserted into this draft class, would 112 be too high to draft him?
No.
Okay. Well, then even though it's way early to draft Bo Nix, if Sean Payton sees Bo Nix as his Brock Purdy, let's go.
Right.
Let's go. I mean, I love it. You mentioned Javonte Williams and the Estime guy from Notre Dame, the other running back, a nice little backup there. I think this is good. I think this is actually really good because Cortland Sutton's there. You got Marvin Mims. They added Troy Franklin. Someone in the chat asked about Troy Franklin. That's
Worth
about as,
I mean, well, let's talk about Troy Franklin
do
for
it.
a little
Do your
bit,
thing.
just because, you know, we have seen day 3 guys in general not be super successful. There are outliers for sure, and not just 1 or 2, you know, Tyreek Hill and Amon-Ra St. Brown and, you know, Stephon Diggs. Like, it happens for sure. But more often than not, it's a very disappointing thing. So does he fit the bill of somebody that's going to be worth our time? I tend to think he might be, just because he already has that connection with Bo Nix. Like, I'm not drafting him crazy. Like, this guy was wide receiver 4 for some people, and he's definitely not anywhere fucking near that right now. But like, if I want to take a shot,
he's a value where I see him going in our patron drafts.
that's fair.
I mean,
that's I mean. I think he's worth a stab. Like, I'm not reaching. Like, Jerry learned his Hakeem Butler lesson, so I believed in Hakeem Butler, and then he got drafted the very first pick of the 4th round, day 3, and I didn't care. I picked him at 110. Dumb, right? If you guys have not listened to this show for a long period of time, that was young Jerry. He was stubborn. He believed in himself. He did not use all of the information that was available to him. So I'm not going to do anything like that. But if I can take a stab at him later with a pick that has a tiny hit rate anyway, yeah, absolutely. Troy Franklin is somebody that I would take a stab on.
Yeah, he's and Todd Riley in the chat asked, he's like, Troy Franklin at the 209 question mark. That's a great spot.
100%.
I was going to take him, a trade that I did today. Man, 3 or 4 pieces, but I was going to take him at the 209. One of our patrons wanted to make a move. I was like, I'm cool with that. Todd, it looks like you took Bo Nix at the 202. So if you want to stack, and that's why our patron Daniel, that's why Daniel wanted them, is because he had drafted Nix earlier. He wanted to create that stack. You may not get a cheaper stack. I don't know that it'll ever be as valuable as the Adunze Caleb Williams stack,
Right.
But that's a dirt cheap stack. That is a dirt cheap. And here's the thing: Cortland Sutton said he wants to be traded or paid. They don't have much paying money in Denver because they're dead capping the hell out of Russell Wilson still. So, I mean, I think he could get traded. And then it's Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin, little Greg Dulcich, whatever the hell his name is. Not been great so far. But I think at the end of the day, this is an offense that's probably a year away. And this is what I think New England's doing. We can go ahead and jump over to my guy, Drake May. We're going to get into some draft winners and losers. I kind of like what New England's doing for Drake May. Like they got him every wide receiver but the alpha.
Yeah.
Literally, like, Javon Baker, and I'm drawing a blank on some of the other ones, but like it felt like they took three. Jalen Polk. That was the one that Anand Naduri loved. Absolutely loved Anand. Loved him there. And like I'm totally cool with that. It feels like New England knows they're not going to make a lot of noise in 2024. New head coach, new OC. The Bills are still really good. The Dolphins will be good. The Jets TBD. So they kind of have like this idea. I could really see them adding that alpha wide receiver next year. So I think that offense is a year away, but that's all right. I'm still in on my man Drake May. We got another question. Corey Walters, 108 or Jordan Addison? In a Superflex tight end premium, I am okay if there's a need on your roster that you can fill at the 108. So like if Brock Bowers is there and it's tight end premium, or you want to get McCarthy there, and it's like I said, it's a Superflex. Totally cool with that there. Most certainly would not move Jordan Addison for the 108 and a 1 QB.
I concur fully. It's easy 108 for me in Superflex. It is easy no in single QB.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's an easy yes for me in super. Like I said, it comes down to like roster dependency.
See, but here's why I say that. I don't understand why JJ McCarthy is falling into that range so much so far.
What's that? The 108, 109 range?
Yeah, like
I'm going to be honest.
I've taken him as early as 105. I have 4 shares. Jerry, the guy wearing the Michigan State shirt right now, who
I'm telling you,
Michigan.
I'm telling you, here's my concern, and it's my concern. I don't want my concern to be put over on the evil on the player profiler crew. This was my concern. The last couple of years, Kirk Cousins either threw the ball 600 times or was on pace to throw the ball 600 times. Okay? Yep. 600 pass attempts is more than JJ McCarthy's had the last 2 years combined.
Agreed, but he didn't have to. But when
you're
he
right.
did throw the ball, bro was good.
Yes, he did. But this is the NFL.
I agree.
And I don't love it. I am torn because I think he's, for him and for me, because I'm a Sam Darnold, unapologetic Sam Darnold fan. I would love it if they sat him for the year, tell Sam, hey, look, dude, you got 1 year. Go make some money, go sign next year in free agency in the offseason, go try to get your Baker Mayfield contract. And then I tell JJ, look, you're going to learn the offense. You're going to learn he's the youngest quarterback in the league. He turned 21 in January. I mean, and it didn't hurt Patrick Mahomes.
And I'm not upset if that happens either. But this man has done nothing but win ever. High school, college. And now he gets into a situation. Do you know how many times we've heard that? And listen, yeah. I know. But we say that, but then Caleb Williams went first overall and didn't win a fucking thing in his whole college career. Anyway, Jim Harbaugh was his coach at Michigan. And he had Blake Corum, and he's got I'm blanking, Donovan Edwards, who's going to be a top running back prospect next year too. He had a great offensive line. Obviously, he didn't pass. And who were the pass catchers? Ready, Roman Wilson. Cool, a 3rd round pick, which is good. I'm actually excited for Roman Wilson too. That makes me want to throw up and swallow it. And then the other guy was Cornelius Johnson. I think he got drafted to super late, day 3, whatever. None of those people are TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, and Justin Jefferson. So
I'll be honest. That's the only reason why I'm not out. I love Kevin O'Connell.
And listen,
I love
I
this
agree.
offense.
If JJ McCarthy went number 3 to New England, no, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to have 0 shares of him. But I think he's good enough. And the difference is Kevin O'Connell and Jim Harbaugh, very different setups there. You know, different schematic ideas, let's say. One of them coaches like it's 1987. The other does not. And he's not with the guy from the 80s anymore.
Hey, listen, you don't have to sell me on the Minnesota landing spot. That was a spot I wanted for my boy Drake May. I'm not even going to front. Like I said, I love Kevin O'Connell. I love Justin Jefferson. Came out today that it's a matter of when, not if, he signs an extension with the Minnesota Vikings. You got Jordan Addison. You know, I've heard various takes that, you know, this team, the Bears. The Bears are the best situation for a rookie quarterback, you know, from in terms of, you know, weapons.
Talent.
And man, I got to respectfully push back a little bit. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like DJ Moore. I like Keenan Allen. But Keenan Allen's like 32, and we're talking Justin Jefferson. So if I said Jerry today, for you don't get their resume. I don't care what you've done. I care what you can do going forward. Do you want DJ Moore or Justin Jefferson?
I want Justin Jefferson.
Okay. Do you want 32-year-old Keenan Allen, or do you want Jordan Addison?
I want Jordan Addison.
Okay. And this is a little bit unfair because, you know, he's coming off of the knee injury. Do you want TJ Hawkinson or Cole Kmet?
I don't even think it's not fair
even
at
remotely
all.
fair.
I'm going to take Hawkinson anyway. I'll take Hawkinson with one knee over Cole Kmet.
And I know they added Roma Dunze, and I mean, very excited for Roma Dunze, but I'm just saying that's a really good spot for a rookie QB. So it's hard for me to be out on.
And that is why the Detroit Lions drafted 2 cornerbacks in the first 2 rounds and signed another one. Because we got lots of wide receivers to deal with. That's going to be a fun division to watch. I'm excited to absolutely break all of their hearts and ruin their excitement.
All right, we're going to do some more a couple more reactions, and then we'll bust out some winners and losers.
Cool.
No, I want to know.
You
wrote 3 pages of notes.
I did.
So I thought maybe you'd have more to say.
Xavier Legette. You care about him? You want him? You not want him?
I want to go fishing with him. I literally I could have went fishing with the Podfather. I could have went fishing with Alex Dunlap on Strawberry Lake there in Pinckney, Michigan. But what I really want to do is I want to go fishing with Xavier Legette. Like I would hire that guy to read my emails to me, like at work. Just have him sit beside me, sit here and just read my emails to me. But outside, I mean, I'm really rooting for him. I do not see me having a lot of Xavier Legette. I think Deontay Johnson's going to be in the way. I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest.
I have one share at 210.
I would be more interested in Jatavion Sanders than I would be on Legette. And to me, this is the thing. And we debated coaching bias at the draft house, but I really like what I saw Dave Canellis do. Little side note, I absolutely love this. And I said this on the draft stream the other night. I absolutely love what Dave Canellis did with Rachaad White. I am licking my chops. That's my most drafted rookie so far is Jonathan Brooks. Baby, let that dude get healthy at 6 foot, almost 6'1", 215 pounds. Let him play that Rachaad White role. Sorry, Chuba. And Miles Sanders, that sumbitch will be selling insurance by Christmas. He gone. So he'll be doing something else, driving a UPS truck or Amazon or something. He could be doing a lot of things. Being the running back for the Carolina Panthers will not be one of them. But back to Dave Canellis and Jatavion Sanders is I've seen over the last couple of years how Cade Otton has been brought along. And that's been with Chris Godwin. That's been with Mike Evans. We've seen this. And this was a guy who had some alleged off the field issues and some personality picadillos. And I don't know. For me, I know a lot of people are excited about the tight end drafted by the Bengals. I like Jatavion Sanders and I like that role. So back to your original question, Xavier Legette, Good fishing, buddy. Probably not going to be on my dynasty roster.
Yep, I've got him at 210. And like I said earlier, I said I like those top 15 to 16 picks, and then I don't care about anything else. This was one of those picks that was after that, and I said, you know what? It's 210. I'll take a first-round wide receiver and just swing for the fences. But I agree, he's not a person that I am trying to jump up and go get. I mean, this is a dude that was a fifth-year senior and didn't do anything. Never had over like 170 yards until his fifth.
He was a fifth-year senior
year. Yeah, and then went for 1,200 last year and got himself paid.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is that him, Michael Penix, and Jayden Daniels played 16 years of college football. That's a lot of college football, Jerry.
That is a lot of college football. They're lucky that COVID happened. Otherwise, they would have been hitting the LinkedIn profile earlier. So they got a little bit fortunate on that.
Look, I am rooting for all of these guys. I'm just giving you, but I'll have a Legette. Like you mentioned, 209, 210. It's like I'm not like if I'm on the 209, it's not like I'm gonna blast Troy Franklin every time.
No, yeah.
I'll get a Legette. I'll get a Roman Wilson. I'll have a little sprinkling of everybody in that range. I'm not going to lock into any one guy. Now, if value falls to you at 210, you do the 210 thing. But I have drafted 0 Xavier Legette in all of our leagues that we have rocking right now.
Cool. And
all right. Well, go ahead.
Hold on real quick. Let's do one quick one because the chat's talking about Kirk Cousins. You got any worries about Kirk Cousins?
It ain't me you got to worry about. It's what the hell is going on in Atlanta. That's like a clown car over there. I mean, literally to draft, like that defense, your Raheem Morris, you just had Aaron Donald, an amazing defensive tackle that just wreaks havoc. You're sitting there on the clock, Byron Murphy, the best defensive tackle in this class, staring you dead in the eye. What do? Oh, you know what? We took a wide receiver. We took a tight end. We took a running back. We need a quarterback. Well, then why the hell did you give Kirk Cousins $100 million? I do not get it. I think it's overkill. This is what happens when the owners get involved. I think Arthur Blank may have been a little offended that everybody said Dave Tepper was the worst owner in the league. And Arthur Blank said, hold my beer or Geritol, whatever the hell it is that he drinks these days. And he got in there. No, I'm not worried about Kirk Cousins. What it did was it absolutely torpedoed the value of a quarterback that I really liked because now he's on the Jordan Love. He's on the Jordan Love career arc, which was fine when you're Jordan Love because you're 21. Michael Penix is like 37 years old.
Yeah, I think he's 24 with 2 ACLs.
Yeah. Well, those ACLs can't get hurt on the bench.
And the other thing was Aaron Rodgers was what, like 38 or something? And
he was coming off an MVP season, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But like he was getting towards the end. They literally signed Kirk Cousins this offseason for 4 years. And let's be honest, he's better than Michael Penix. This is the same guy that got drafted in the 4th round and ended up starting over the number 2 overall pick, who was taken in the exact same draft class as him and sort of plays a little bit like Michael Penix, but a much better version than Michael Penix was in RG3. No, Michael Penix is off my draft board.
This is the worst situation for everybody in Atlanta. Because I've stolen this. You don't, as a head coach, you don't want a celebrity backup. You don't want a guy who everybody knows their name and you lose 2 games in a row and it's like, hey, when are we going to see Michael? We're going to get my. You don't want that. And here's the thing. Normally, I lean toward yes, the NFL people know more about these players than we do. They know more about them. They know more about football. I have no ego about that. I agree. But sometimes you get an organization that is so dumb that they do this. Now think about this. You're Arthur Blank. You are one of the top 100 successful businessmen in the United States. Started Home Depot, ran it up into $1 bajillion by the Falcons. You literally in March, Barely over a month ago, you scratched a check to Kirk Cousins for $100 million guaranteed. And then 5 weeks later, you draft Michael Penix? I don't get it. I don't get it. Kirk Cousins didn't get it.
No.
His agent didn't get it. I'm telling you, they made this a real weird scene for a guy on his second head coaching stint to handle the situation. I hate it for everybody involved.
I am happy that Michael Penix gets number 8 overall money from the NFL draft. And that is the only good thing that happens, because he's not going to get an opportunity to start, because Kirk Cousins is going to give them a better opportunity.
I will say this.
He is off my board. I will not have any Michael Penix.
What's the earliest you draft him?
301.
In Superflex?
In Superflex.
I
don't get to play him. When am I going to play him, Randy? Why?
I mean,
2 years. 2 years from now, I can trade. How much was Jordan Love worth before when Aaron Rodgers was there? I mean,
there's a big difference.
Nickels. There is. Jordan Love was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, less injuries.
No,
Kirk
Cousins of that 100 million, 90 of it's due this year. Kirk Cousins, if the Achilles will let him, will be starting for the Falcons. There's no question there. But you want to look at those dead cap numbers and say, hey, because here's the thing. At some point, they got to re-sign Pitts and not to re-sign Drake London. And how do you re-sign all those guys and pay Kirk Cousins? You know what you do? You don't. They could literally
they have to for the next 3 years. Dead cap, 90 million this year, 65 the year after that, 35 the year after that.
Okay, well,
I mean, that's 3 years. That's 3 years. I gotta sit on Michael Penix and waste my rookie pick? Fuck you. Absolutely not. I'll let one of you other dopes do that, and I'll trade that second or third when I'm much closer and I don't have to hold on to him. Hell no.
No, because I think that he could be the starter in Atlanta as soon as 2025.
You are higher than Giraffe Nuts.
Okay, tell me what the dead cap number was on Russell Wilson.
Hey, I hear you. Russell Wilson was also getting worse. Kirk Cousins has not been getting worse.
Well, have you seen Kirk Cousins play since the Achilles?
I have not, but
okay, I'm just checking because you know what?
But I've also seen Michael Penix only do really well with Jalen Polk, Jalen McMillan, and Roma Dunze in going against Pac-12 offenses. Because when he was at Indiana, bro was not throwing like that, and that was before his knees were fucked. Hell no, off the board.
Off
Throw
the
him in the trash.
Off the board. Throw him in the trash. Well, I'm going to take a minute, and we're gonna bring this thing back in. If you're looking for something more than the podcast to help you from Player Profiler, you may want to check out the Dynasty Deluxe.
This episode is brought to you by Player Profiler, the Dynasty Deluxe package. The rankings are the best in the industry. It includes strategy mode where you can say, hey, change the rankings to be win now. Oh, change the rankings to be productive struggle. There's also a draft planner to help strategize where you should take players because the draft planner also includes ADP. There's a trade finder where we look up on My Fantasy League and we see trades that are done, including a particular player. Then there's a trade analyzer where you can plug in draft picks, players, and we assign a lifetime value to draft picks out 5 years. The best thing about our trade analyzer, it can't be gamed with volume. And there's mock draft data to see right now what's the market for player X versus player Y, including in the fall when very few mock drafts are happening. And our Dynasty guide, the Dynasty Dominator, would cost you $10 on Amazon, but you get it for free with Dynasty Deluxe, and you get our rookie guide for free, a $25 value. So you get all of that for $45. I mean, it's a great deal.
It is, in fact, a great deal. So, Jerry, let's get into some winners and losers.
Okay.
Give me a winner. Give me a Jerry winner.
Do you want a veteran winner or you want a rookie winner?
The people want rookie winners, Jerry. Now, if you can throw the veteran in there with it, that's fine. But let's stick rookies.
Okay. So this one, I'm just gonna go with an easy one. and it's Marvin Harrison Jr., just because he got a good situation. He's got a nice young quarterback. This one's easy. This one's going to be quick, so that way we can pile a couple more in there. I can't imagine you disagree. This is about where everybody thought he was going to go anyway, but there was no disappointment. So I will take that as a win.
Oh, 100%. For longtime listeners of the show, you guys know that I have never been super pro Kyler. Never have been. I'm not anti Kyler, just like I'm not like a pom-pom waver. Not many quote unquote superstar players like wide receivers come into the league. I mean, look at Malik Neighbors. Look at Rome Odunze. He's getting a rookie. He's a rookie that's really good, and we really like him. But I mean, he ain't Kyler Murray yet. Could be better. Don't know, but he's not yet. It's not always that way when you are like the superstar wide receiver, and I think it's absolutely great. So I agree that was a winner for me. Keon Coleman was my big winner. I'm a big Keon. I'm a big Bills guy. I'm a big Josh Allen guy. Have been since his rookie year. I was one of the few dynasty analysts on him as a rookie. So I'm always going to be there. We mentioned it earlier in the chat. It's like, are you worried about the 4-6? I'm not. I'm really not. Now, would I put him?
The Bills aren't either. So why would I?
Yeah, they obviously have a plan for him, and they already had like the small, fast guy in Khalil Shakur. By the way, little veteran winner. See how you can tie those together, Jerry? Little veteran winner. If you listen to their GM and head coach, it sounds like that Shakur is going to have a big role in that offense this year. So definitely a name to keep in mind. I think the Keon Coleman draft pick could get you some cheaper Khalil Shakur. What about a loser, Jerry? Give me a loser.
I mean, I sort of mentioned it earlier, but Brock Bowers. I gave my thoughts on it. I know you're more of a Brock Bowers guy than me. What did you think of that situation?
I started to think about, and again, this is why it's so good, because normally, you watch it by yourself, or you're watching it at work like you do. I happen to be sitting around with some of the smartest dynasty and fantasy and football minds in the world, sitting there. And at first, everybody was like, and maybe I'm an optimist on players I like, just to be very fair. Maybe I'm an optimist on players that I like. But I'm like, the NFL is running a lot more 12 personnel than they ever had. And you ever seen that classic NBA meme where, I don't know the commissioner's name, but he's like, you better learn Chinese, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about Michael Mayer. You better learn how to block, buddy, because Michael Mayer was a pretty good blocker coming out to Notre Dame. And I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities to be the blocking tight end. They basically turned him into Durham Smythe. Durham Smythe being the blocking tight end for the Miami Dolphins. That's my take on it. I see guys in the chat talking about the Bills with Keon Cole, with Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. I think they can coexist. That Raiders team will be passing the ball, and Devontae Adams, he's bigger, faster, stronger Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, I mean he's fine for now, but he's going to be nothing soon.
Hunter Renfrow, he's already cut. He's already cut. He's not even a Raider anymore.
No, I'm talking about Devontae Adams.
Oh, well, no, he's still a Raider.
Yeah,
they're probably going to give him a bunch more money.
He's fine. He's fine for now, but he's not long for.
By the way,
being an option that's going to mess with Brock Bowers.
Life hack: if you can smoke cigars and hang out with the owner of your company, you will do well. This is the Devonta Adams corollary. So no, I don't think Bowers was a loser. I actually asked Theo this question because you and I are in a league where it's tight end premium. You must start 2 tight ends, and the tight end premium is 2.0. So 2 points for every reception for your tight end. And I asked him, and I asked Josh Larkey, and I was like, hey, how high would you draft Brock Bowers in that format? And they were like, easily as early as 102. And, that spoke to me, because how hard it is to get, personally how hard it is to get tight ends in that league. And I agree. Again, I think people will hold Kyle Pitts against Brock Bowers, and I'm going to have a lot of Brock Bowers, Jerry.
I am going to have more Kyle Pitts because I get Kirk Cousins and not Gardner Minshew.
You get Kirk Cousins for now.
No, I got Kirk Cousins for 3 years is what I got.
Give me another winner.
So I didn't love that. I mean, Ricky Pearsall was a winner for himself because holy shit, did I not think that guy was going to be a first round pick?
Speaking of fifth-year seniors,
let's not go that route. I mean, JJ, Bo Nix, really the first like 15 picks were all sort of winners except for Penix, because it was like, I mean, we could talk Drake May, I guess, a little bit. I thought he lost, but if we're going to talk winners, I think Brian Thomas Jr. was a winner. Now, I don't love Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is, I believe, to quote a very wise philosopher, he is Jared Goff with better hair, and that is a
that was my draft night. That was my draft night take.
Yes, it was. So, and I think that's pretty fair. But it could have been a lot worse for Brian Thomas Jr. had he ended up in a lot of worse spots. I think he's got a chance. I think he's got a chance to do some things. You know, he's still not a guy that I'm drafting super early, but in that range, he's within the players that I'm fine having, that 15 to 16 player range. So I will definitely have more shares than I thought I was going to. But can we just talk about how I kept calling him DJ Chark throughout this whole process, and then this dude literally got drafted to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Jerry spoke it into existence. I'm neutral on Brian Thomas. The debate we had was Brian Thomas or Xavier Worthy. And you know,
see, I was saving Xavier for last.
We'll work him in. Don't worry, we're not going to be in a hurry tonight. I know we normally do an hour. We may go an hour and 20. I don't know. I'm not in a hurry. Are you in a hurry?
No.
We'll just let this one go for a minute. But who are we talking about before you distract? Oh, Brian Thomas Jr. Like, I've been the anti Brian Thomas Jr. guy. But here's the thing. The positive side is Calvin Ridley left behind 136 targets.
Yep.
Now I know Gabe Davis is going to want a part of those, but I think a guy like Zay Jones could be on the cutting block. But there's going to be targets there, and even though I did call him Jared Goff with better hair, I do like Trevor Lawrence, so like I'm okay with that. I want to bring up a name. You mentioned Ricky Pearsall. Do you? I know the word has come out that they're not going to trade him, but do you think that the Niners will move on from Brandon Ayuk or Debo? I heard Debo's name mentioned as well.
I do not. I really don't. That is a team that literally played in the Super Bowl. Why would they want to get that dramatic with a move?
See, I agree, and I agree because it's like the same thing the Bengals are doing.
Yeah.
With T. Higgins, they're like, we're not trading you. We're going all in. We're trying to win a championship. And trading you does not, coincide with those goals. Funny fact, we mentioned all these old guys in this draft. Ricky Pearsall was already teammates once with Brandon Ayuk. They were teammates together at Arizona State.
Jesus.
Yeah. So another guy that's
where would you take Ricky Pearsall? Would you take Ricky Pearsall
in that mid-second round range? Like I said, I mean,
I don't think I would take him. I'm guessing because that's where he's going to go. I think I would not take him.
I mean, like I don't think he's going to fall to 209, but somewhere in there.
I would rather take a tight end that like Ben Sinnott or something.
I mean, if you,
I know he's a first round wide receiver, but there's nothing in that situation that makes me think this guy's going to jump Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk to have a role in a Brock Purdy offense. Nothing about that sentence adds up to making sense for me. So I'm good on that.
Let's talk Ladd McConkey as a winner.
Yeah.
Chargers. Oh, they don't have any wide receiver. They do now.
Yeah. Now, Quentin Johnston, baby.
Quentin Johnston, someone. So you and I, for our patrons, maybe about a month ago, we were doing like some cheap buys that we both liked.
Yep.
And I liked Josh Palmer, and you like Quentin Johnston, and
Yeah.
those guys are about to have a loser leaves town match because
I
one
mean,
of
I
them ain't
think-
going to make it.
I think this actually helps their value, if you want me to be honest, because they were already pretty cheap and they should still have somewhat of a role. But I am not the biggest Ladd McConkey guy, but I was happy that he went to the Chargers. I was not going to have any shares until he ended up there. Now I'm certain that I will at some point.
All right, well, let's get spicy. We have two more. We're going to save Xavier Worthy for last.
Because
so we're gonna ask you for one more loser, then another winner, and we'll go home. But we're not in a hurry. We're not in a hurry. So give me another loser.
I think Drake May was a loser. I just
Knock it off.
I don't love that situation. I'm happy he got the early draft capital, and I think he's talented enough, and I think he's good. But like Hunter Henry, Kendrick Bourne are the veterans that the Jalen Polks have to look up to. I mean, Jared Mayo's
you act like Keyshawn Boute's not even there.
Oh, stop it. I mean, Alex Van Pelt is the offensive coordinator. He's been a QB coach most of his career. He's never been an offensive coordinator. Like, I don't know. Nothing about that situation just screams like offensive juggernaut.
You're gonna have to wait a year.
But that said, we could have said all of those things about Josh Allen in Buffalo 5 years ago, or say whenever the hell that was. So it depends what he can do. And I do think that he has that range of outcomes to be that elite guy that can be a top 5 QB. Is just knowing with what I know now, as far as all of the situations he could have ended up in, that was not one of the better ones.
Yeah, it was there in New York that were the bad situations. Like I said it earlier, I really wanted May to go to Minnesota, but New England was locked in on him. That was their guy, and he's probably going to be a year away from being a year away. But and I agree that the landing spot made him a bit of a loser. But for me, it was really.
But it also could create value in Dynasty because of that landing spot. So if you are a Drake May believer,
he's going 105, 106. I mean, that's where I'm seeing him.
But I mean, for sure. But easily, if he could have, landed in a better spot, like if he lands in Minnesota, he's 102, or not 102, but 103 probably.
And Jeremy in the chat said, "You're sleeping on Javon Baker. You're going to get your feelings hurt."
I know.
I will just say this: I love all of these guys. Drake May fits right into the quote unquote Memphis type. Like as a guy, as like redheads, blondes, what everybody has a type. My quarterback type is Drake May.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes you do really good when you get like a Josh Allen, a Justin Herbert. Sometimes you do really bad when you get a Sam Darnold, or a Daniel Jones, a Carson Wentz. I mean, and some of these guys can have a good season in or out of there. So as much as I love Drake May, his tippy top ceiling, if you look at his athletic profile and you go to Player Profiler and you look at his best comparable player, it is Josh Allen. So the kid's got the physical tools, but I will say his range of outcomes is as high as Josh Allen and as low as Sam Darnold. So when you hit draft player on Drake May, you got to take a big gulp. You got to pull up your britches and hit the draft button, knowing the range of outcomes when you do. Can I give you a loser? We'll stick at the quarterback position. Jayden Daniels.
You didn't like it, huh?
Do you know what team got their quarterback sacked the most last year?
Was it the Washington Commanders?
We have a winner. It was the Washington Commanders. So we're talking about a not very good offensive line. And then the dude made the comment, I want to be the best rushing quarterback ever. Better than Lamar, better than Michael Vick. I am like, sir, you are no Lamar Jackson. Sir, you, sir, are no Michael Vick. And my man, you weigh $185 with rocks in your pockets. So the offensive line's already going to get you killed when you drop back to pass. And I don't love Cliff Kingsbury. I know everybody, oh, Cliff Kingsbury. Go look at him.
I mean, he's not
Every
head coaching though.
You're right, but look at every offense he's called in the NFL. They figure that stuff out. It is such a cookie cutter, and he doesn't have like a change up to go with his fastball. He just keeps throwing the heater, and eventually they catch up to it. So you take in the comments that he wants to run a bunch. He's not a big guy. The offensive line's not very good. I do like Terry McLaurin. Obviously, I love Terry McLaurin. It's the best quarterback he's ever had. Jahan Dotson, we'll kind of wait and see. I do not think that he was a winner. I do not think he was a winner, but this was the best spot for him. So if it works out, I'll understand why. I saw Andrew Luck not be able to overcome a poorly ran franchise. I said what I said. I'm a Colts fan. I've seen Trevor Lawrence not be able to overcome a dysfunctional franchise in Jacksonville. And I'm not sure that a guy who had to play 6, not 1, I feel like LeBron when he went to Miami, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6. He had to play 6 college years with 2 wide receivers that went in the top 20 of this draft class to have his quote unquote breakout year. Tickle me skeptical.
I think that's just you being skeptical of him in general, not so much
and that organization and that offensive line.
Listen, the point that you haven't seen better quarterbacks than him overcome bad situations is one to take to heart, and it is a lesson to learn.
As the OG original anti-Justin Fields guy, this was the exact same thing that I didn't like about Justin Fields. It was the exact same thing.
Yeah, listen, I'm not super anti Jayden Daniels, but I also don't like quarterbacks like Jayden Daniels. Like, that's why I don't have Anthony Richardson anywhere either. No Anthony Richardson, no Jayden Daniels. Those are just risks. I learned my RG3 lesson. Same organization too. So I tend to avoid those situations, but I hear you. I don't think it's crazy. I mean, if you're a person that believes in Jayden Daniels, by all means, we have absolutely been wrong on this show, but
I'll be wrong again.
I'm
Especially you.
I think the situation is fine. I think Cliff Kingsbury's fine.
Yeah.
I think Terry's fine. I think Jahan Dotson's fine. They added Ben Sinnott. They added Luke McCaffrey.
I did like Sinnott.
I don't know how to.
You know, but before I give you, because I'm gonna give you one last winner, and I'm gonna let you end big with Xavier Worthy. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Good friend of the show, and if you're watching on Player Profiler, this is why we ask you to tune into our YouTube channel and our podcast channel. You might say, "Why? I'm already getting the Dynasty WarZone on Wednesdays on Player Profiler." That's true, but you miss out on guys like our guy Dallas Hyder. Dallas Hyder does a show for us called the Rookie Rundown. It goes throughout the season. And what he was doing last year in season is he was giving us like 5 minutes on like one, college player that was going to be draft eligible every single week. And Ben Sinnott was one of the first guys that he did back in October. So if you're looking for a little something extra and you're looking for some extra football content, that's why we ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast channel. Because wherever you consume, you want to make sure you catch Dallas, Jesse, all the guys that do shows for us. So that's a little aside. So Ben Sinnott, yes, Dallas turned us on to him. We saw another tight end sit under the learning tree of Zach Ertz. And that young man's name was Trey McBride, also drafted in the 2nd round out of a Big 12 conference school. Not saying that it's a 1-for-1 correlation, but I am saying I'm pretty excited for Ben Sinnott. And I saw it earlier in the chat. It was like, who's your tight end 2 in the class? I tell you what, if you're like in the league Jerry and I are in where you have to start 2 tight ends, I'm taking a dart throw on all these guys. I mean, like I'm taking Jatavion Sanders, I'm taking Ben Sinnott, and I'm taking
one of them's gonna hit.
One of them is gonna hit. Based on the offense and the way that I've seen Kingsbury use the tight end, whether it was Zach Ertz before he got hurt and then Trey McBride or whomever, he's always had a favorable role for the tight ends in his offense. And outside of Terry McLaurin, he could easily step in and be the second option as soon as 2025. So like Ben Sinnott a bunch, low-key underrated, sneaky if you need a tight end value tight end class. But my winner, one of my guys going into this whole friggin' process, Jerry, was Malachi Corley. And I don't think that he could have went to a better spot. My goodness, we heard all the way leading up to the draft that the Jets were going to add more skill position guys. They were going to trade up for a Doomsday. They were going to take Bowers at 10. They were going to go. And it was all the local Jets media. Hey, we got to add some more people. Okay. So, but it wasn't. It was Malachi Corley who they took with the first pick of the third round. I love third round wide receivers that had a good Senior Bowl. It's what I like to call the Terry McLaurin Cooper Kupp corollary. These guys go. I love the fact that he's a yak guy, a yards after the catch guy. And Aaron Rodgers, he knows how to lead a wide receiver to where yak is a thing. So it's hard for me not to be excited about Malachi Corley. And I just got him at like 301 in one of our patron leagues. I feel like I'm stealing. I feel like I'm stealing with both hands. If I was in some countries in the Middle East, they'd cut my hands off because I was stealing from them. So that was my final winner. What are your thoughts on Corley? And then you can jump right into your guy.
I mean, he's one of those guys that I keep taking a stab on. I think I got 2 shares so far. But also I'm the person that's slightly skeptical on all the fire around Garrett Wilson. Not that I don't think he's not a good player. Everybody wanted to build a statue for him, and I don't think he deserves that quite yet. So I'm all for it. I like him. Gonna have some stabs. Gonna hope for it. Xavier Worthy's the big one. Because he was all the sizzle for the combine, and then on draft night he gets the trade up to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a winner because of that. But the real question is, how much does it change for you, my friend?
Well, let me tell you a little story. So I was on the fantasy desk during that draft pick, and I was sitting next to the Podfather, and he lost his ever-loving mind when Buffalo's like, oh, Buffalo traded out. And he's like, who'd they trade with? Kansas City. Okay. And then it was your boy, Xavier Worthy. He was just like, holy cow, this changes everything. And then, like, obviously in the moment, that was everybody in the room's wide receiver 4. Totally justified. And then obviously the Keon Coleman pick got selected. You got Ladd McConkey. Here's what I'll say my opinion was on Xavier Worthy. I know you're a Hollywood Brown guy.
To an extent.
They gave him a 1-year, $7 million deal. Rashee Rice, although I think he'll be fine. 3 games, 6 games. He's gonna serve the time. He did the crime. That's how it works in the NFL. Look at Alvin Kamara last year. So he's gonna miss a few games. So that doesn't really change anything. But my big takeaway is that they are looking for another weapon beyond Travis Kelce. I think this could be Travis Kelce's last year in the league. I think, and I've used this term before because I used it with Gronk years ago, is Travis Kelce's getting ready to become Grandpa's Corvette. Jerry, do you have a grandpa that has a Corvette, or have you ever seen a grandpa with a Corvette?
I have seen a grandpa with a Corvette.
They only bust it out when it's sunny. No rain in the forecast. They park it. They always like wipe it off with like a super soft chamois towel, but they don't drive it when it rains. And it's not the everyday. It's not the everyday driver.
He's grandpa's.
They drive it down to like the park on the weekends. But when they got to go to the grocery store, the doctor, or whatever, they're not driving the Corvette. That's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs with Travis Kelce, because they're going to need to make sure that he's not overused at 35 to be banged around and not be ready for a playoff run. And those were some of my reasons for like Xavier Worthy. I don't buy that he's a Tyreek Hill replacement. Because
Bingo.
even though he's as fast as Tyreek Hill, he's technically the fastest guy to ever go through the combine. What Tyreek Hill has is this super rare, maybe the rarest of all time. He has this super rare combination of not only getting to top end speed, but he gets there quick. And I don't know that Xavier Worthy has that, but I love the landing spot. I love
you have
the
to
landing
love the
spot.
landing spot. I think where he's going in some drafts is absolute. It's a crime. If you want me to be honest with you, I saw him go over Malik Neighbors in a league. That's a no for me. 100 times out of 100. I know it's Patrick Mahomes. I know it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Worthy had Quinn Ewers. He was a 5-star kid. He's always been a high-profile guy. He's had good quarterbacks. I don't know. I have a share. I took him at 110. He's sort of him and Keon Coleman and Ladd McConkey are all sort of the same. Well, actually, Ladd's a little lower for me, but Keon and Xavier are they're right there for me. I'll have shares. I don't foresee a situation where he's going to be a superstar, and there are certain drafts where he is going like he's about to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I just don't foresee that being the case.
No, I don't think he's Amon-Ra St. Brown, but we can wrap it up on that. You mentioned, Amon-Ra St. Brown just got the bag. Dude, is it Brad Holmes?
Brad Holmes.
I know Holmes is the last name, but Brad Holmes, he is playing 4D chess. Whereas like the Jacksonville Jaguars and some of these teams, like the Atlanta Falcons, are playing checkers with like 3 pieces missing. He is playing 4D chess. He is extending Penei Sewell. He is extending Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he's getting and you see even like Dallas, like, why haven't you signed your edge rusher? Why haven't you signed
the other thing.
Your wide receiver?
We traded TJ Hawkinson, so we wouldn't have to sign him. Forced Minnesota to sign him. Then we draft Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta ends up being just as good. And then he signs Amon-Ra St. Brown before all the other big wide receivers get signed. That's only going to push Justin Jefferson's paycheck up. They're just going to minimize that cap number for the Vikings, which is he is playing 40 chess. Love Brad Holmes.
And
build him a
is
statue, not Garrett Wilson. And listen, I like Garrett Wilson. Don't get me wrong, but build Brad Holmes the statue.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown's was the highest paid receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Okay. For like a day, and then it's AJ Brown. So what round was AJ Brown drafted in?
Second round.
What round was Amon-Ra St. Brown drafted in?
Fourth round.
Cooper Kupp is the 3rd highest paid wide receiver in the league. What round was he drafted in? 3rd round.
No idea. Okay.
Tyreek Hill is the 4th highest paid wide receiver in the league. What round was he drafted in?
5th or something.
5th round. That's exact. Now he had some character. My point is that when you're doing these rookie drafts, do not ignore the guys that landed in good situations. Don't ignore Roman Wilson. Whether it's Russ or whether it's Justin Fields, George Pickens can't get them all. And I'm hoping as a Freiermuth guy, I hope that works out.
I am all for Roman Wilson talk on this podcast. Never was an absolute animal, but
I have 2 shares already.
I have 1. This circles back to this Jim Harbaugh offense. It wasn't necessary, but with Mike Tomlin, Russ is now there. George Pickens, he's a type of wide receiver. It's just not the modern type of wide receiver. Roman Wilson is the modern type of wide receiver. And with every target that Deontay Johnson was getting when he was healthy, Roman Wilson is about to eat those up. So I'm for it.
I'm not saying he's going to get all of them. But Deontay Johnson leaves about 160 targets behind. If Roman Wilson gets 100, he's doing good.
Yeah,
he's doing
especially for where you're going to take him.
He's doing real good. So don't give up and don't feel like you can't hit a home run with Malachi Corley. Jermaine Burton, like I wasn't a big Jermaine Burton guy going into the draft. I can tell you that had the player profiler draft house a buzzing. Everybody was super excited as a potential Tyler Boyd replacement. So I took that note. Troy Franklin. I don't love Troy Franklin, but it's not a bad landing spot. Quarterback he knows, offense that's friendly. Javon Baker, you already got called out in the chat once. I don't make the rules.
That was my bad. That was egregious on my part.
So Javon Baker, I mean, that's the big takeaway at the end of the show is if you can get the draft going earlier because you're more prepared from listening to the Dynasty WarZone and Player Profiler, then you can. But if you have the further we get toward the actual NFL season, the less your preparedness helps you. So this is where you need to lean on your commissioner and say, hey, let's start this draft early. I can't wait till May. I can't wait till I'm ready to draft now. That's the move, Jerry.
Yeah.
All right. And then I do want to clear up one thing. And Mr. Brownstone in the chat's like, Justin Jefferson's going to get $34 million, buddy. That without question. And then Jamar Chase was like the 5th overall pick. He's going to get snapped off too. And then CD Lamb's right behind him. The point of the where they were drafted versus where they got paid is just a way of illustrating that you don't have to always, draft the first round wide receiver. Like if you don't love Xavier Legette, cool. Totally understand. Ricky Pearsall, also cool. I'll tell you, I will have a lot more Troy Franklin than Ricky Pearsall.
Me too. Because I will have Ricky Pearsall.
I will have a lot more Roman Wilson than I will Xavier Legette.
100%.
And those guys got first round draft capital. And Jerry, I got a goldfish. Oh, I thought it was my turn to bring up something else that didn't matter, like first round draft capital. All right, man. We're gonna get this one out of here. Want to thank you guys very much. A lot of this draft and where these guys are going, it came from our Patreon, patreon.com. Like we are the sickos. We are out here. We are drafting. I know inflation's a thing. Patron's still $5 a month. No inflation over here. You still get the group chat. You get this podcast early and ad free. So if you're a podcast, an audio consumer, you can say to yourself, hey, I can get this Monday night with bonus content from Memphis and Jerry. It's patreon.com/Dynasty WarZone. Please check that out. What Ricky Pearsall do to me? Nothing.
His situation's bad.
His situation can be fine. Situations
he's got Goonies. He's got so many Goonies to compete with.
That's the thing. And I liked Ricky Pearsall. I drafted him in our final mock draft before the NFL draft. I drafted him. I just don't like this spot because Kittle's not going anywhere. And Christian McCaffrey's not going anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Let's say Ayuk does get traded. Debo's still there. Kittle's still there. Christian McCaffrey's still there. And then I got to rely on a 5th-year senior who never really did anything that set the world on fire.
So what you're telling me is his best range of outcomes is Brandon Ayuk. I don't think that's really that possible. So it's not personal with Ricky. He is he's a fine young man. He looks like if you go to Player Profiler and pull up his picture, he looks like he'd take your sister out to a nice steak dinner and never call her again.
Wow. Well, now I got to Google Ricky Pearsall.
All right. Google Ricky Pearsall. Check out patreon.com/Dynasty
Oh, no,
WarZone.
you better leave Jenna alone.
Check out the Dynasty Deluxe. Check out everything because that's what goes to support the support staff. The guys behind the scenes. I met our producer, John Adams. Great dude. Met Frank, who ran the website. Great dude. When you support the sponsors of the show, you support Player Profiler. You keep all this free. I'll just rip off the Podfathers into the screen rant gimmick. But I just want to say thank you. I see how many people are here. I'm glad Jerry was excited. I'm glad he did some homework. He wasn't doing work. So guys, you have to understand, Jerry was at work, supposed to be working. He had a notepad, taking 3 pages of notes instead of working. There's someone out there who's a very dissatisfied customer right now, Jerry.
In my work notebook too.
I won't tell your boss if you won't tell mine.
Hopefully they're not subscribers of the Dynasty WarZone.
Well, if not, they should be. Anyway, let's get out of here. Glad this one went long. It's a lot of fun. We will do a mock draft next week with all this information. You and I, maybe we'll get a friend. Maybe we'll get a friend. Everybody loves a good mock draft. We're going to do a mock draft next Sunday night, 9 p.m., our first NFL mock draft after the actual NFL draft. We'll do that next week. We just wanted to get on here, give you some instant reaction, some feedback, some winners, some losers. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for making this possible. And on behalf of Jerry, I am Memphis. We'll see you here next week. And remember, the Dynasty WarZone, we're just trying to make the world a better place for fantasy football. See you next week.
Hey, I want to take a moment to thank you for tuning in. It's important to me that all of our media be free. This is only possible because of you allowing a true independent sports media enterprise to thrive unlike any other in the business. So please subscribe to the All In Package to continue to make all of this possible, to ensure that all of our stats, information, data, content is available to you, especially you, the people that get the site and get the show.